Welcome back once again, guys. We have something that is in a bold and controversial statement. We have this man, Pogu, Bitrus, the president of the Middle Belt Forum. He has revealed something that is very shocking about the challenges that the Christians are facing in the northern parts of Nigeria. Now, in a very bold and controversial statement, Pogu Bitrus is challenging everything Nigerians think they know about the religion in the north. According to this president of the Middle Belt Forum, the numbers we've been fed for years may not tell the full story. He says there are far more Christians in the northern Nigeria than the official figures suggest. In fact, he claims that over 46 million Christians are living in the northern part of Nigeria, yet their presence is barely acknowledged in the national conversations, politics, or even census data. So the question now is why? Are the numbers being downplayed? Are certain communities being politically erased? Because in Nigeria, population figures means power, especially when it comes to election. They determine representation, resource allocation, and even election outcomes. Now, Bitrus argues that misleading census data could be shaping policies unfairly and silencing millions of voices. If that's true, then this is bigger than religion. It's about identity, fairness, and political control. And Nigerians must start asking hard questions about the numbers we are told to believe. In fact, I want you to listen to this man yourself so you can get to hear everything in details.
The North, who are not Hausa, Fulani, or Kanuri, who are independent of the Caliphate and the Sultanate of Borno when the colonizers, that is the British colonial government, came to Nigeria. We are the Middle Belters. I'm from Chibok. We were conquered not by the Kanuri, neither in Borno, neither by the Kanuri nor by the Fulani of Adama, because the Caliphate didn't get to our place. It was the British that conquered my people. We were independent of these groups before the colonial masters came into this country. That's why I'm a Middle Belter. And go across the Middle Belt, the nationalities were different. And when the British came, they realized these groups were different. But they thought, how do we control these groups? And they introduced something that worked in India, indirect rule. So when they conquered my place, February 1907, because they came in 1902, our people gave serious resistance, they couldn't do it. They had to come back 1906 in November. The history books are there to verify. And having conquered my people, divided the land, part to Adama, part to Borno, and we became a colony of Borno, under Borno Emirate. The funny thing is, after Nigeria became independent, all those legacies of colonial indirect rule remain the way they are. So up to now, Borno posts these three heirs to my place. It's not supposed to be that. We are supposed to be in free Nigeria. Yes, we are supposed to be in independent Nigeria. My people are not supposed to be under Borno Emirate. The southern part of our territory was given to somebody in 1921 after they were brought back from Adamawa to Borno and attached to Biu at the time. Today, great-grandson to that person, who naturally is not from Borno, not even from Borno, not from our nationality, but we've adopted him. He's a first-class chief in our territory. So the issue is every nationality in the Middle Belt who are independent of the Caliphate and Sultanate of Borno before the British came are the Middle Belters. We were either animists at the time or Christians, not Muslims. Islam came into the area and started growing with time. We are both Christian, Muslims. There are some few animists still amongst us, but that's who we are. That's who we are. We didn't say we want to be part of the North. We were co-opted by the British. And even at that, proponents of the Middle Belt movement started, along with proponents of the minority movements from the South, to demand independence from the colonial overlords placed by the British. We had the South people agitating, the Middle Belters agitating, and as a result, the Willings Commission was created in 1957, in September, to look into our plight. The result was, in the North, the penal code came into being, Sharia was not installed on people, and the Sardauna was able to galvanize support, even among the Middle Belters. The story is different today, because today, we have up to 12 states in the North who are not running the penal code, but who have full-blown Sharia and imposing it on everybody. Anybody who tells you that Sharia only applies to Muslims is a liar.
Brilliant. Let me throw two quick questions. Number one, the understanding of Middle Belt is usually Plateau, Benue, Nasarawa, FCT, Niger State, Kogi, Kwara. But now, when you say Chibok, that you are from, I'm actually stunned that you are from Chibok, because I know Chibok was where we had the Chibok kidnap years ago. And that's in Maiduguri, Northeast. So is it right for you to describe yourself as being a Middle Beltan?
Thank you very much.
And that's one. Secondly is, you've often corrected people who say the Middle Belt, not to lump the Middle Belt under the general, either Arewa or Northern region, that the Middle Belt is separate. Why this? Can you respond to this?
Thank you very much. When before the agitation for identity started, late 40s, early 40s, 50s, and the agitation led to the creation or establishment of the Willings Commission that looked at the plight of minority elements from the north and from the south. There were people from the northeast who were pioneers. For example, one who stands out was Jonah Asadu from Numan. He was part of that movement. It was for that same reason. Areas that could not be covered by the United Middle Belt Congress, which was in partnership with the Action Group, was covered by the Action Group. My area was covered by the Action Group. My father was the leader of Action Group in my area. It was through that movement that Ibrahim Imam, on request by this late Sardauna, got a seat elected around Boko to represent people of the Middle Belt. So the Middle Belt was not confined to the Benue Plateau, whatever they say. People were consulted, and even in the map they drew at the time, the only dispute they had, which they didn't clearly define, was Southern Bauchi and Southern Gombe at the time. Kaba and parts of Para were part of the negotiation. So the map, if you get the map, you will see it covered the whole of Niger province. Southern part of that is Zazau of Kaduna, Plateau. And then you will see broken lines in the map, covering southern part of Bauchi, southern part of Gombe. And then the map goes with real line, covering the area of Chibok and the Margi Pela. The Margi Pela are the people of Uba, Askra Uba now. So even then, we were part of it. The map shows it clearly. And where the UNBC didn't cover, Action Group covered. And as I told you, my father was the leader of Action Group. I was sent 2 Land Rovers, 2, to my dad. Both of them seized by NPC in Maiduguri. You can see that political violence didn't start today. It started a long time ago. That was in 1959. I was a young boy just getting to school age. But I knew. I saw it happen.
Now, some claim that the Middle Belt Forum is a religious organization, that you're actually hiding under, this political platform to pursue, or champion a religious, agenda for so-called Middle Belt people. How do you respond to this?
Thank you very much. When the Middle Belt movement started, as I told you, there were both animists and Christians. These animists, of course, majority of them converted to Christianity. Lots of them became Muslims. If your brother is a Muslim today, because I have brothers and relations who are Muslims, do you deny them because they are Muslims? No. So the Middle Belt Forum covers everybody within the region. If somebody comes from Sokoto, Katsina, or wherever, and settle on my ancestral land, does it become his land? No. It's still my ancestral land. He came to settle. So for anybody to come and say Middle Belt Forum was a religious group, and so it has to be a religious group and religious this thing. Yes, the proponents who started were both animists and Christians. Muslims are found in the Middle Belt. They are our brothers. My vice is a Muslim. The forum has both Muslims and Christians. We don't have animists anyway, because everybody has associated with one religion or the other. And along the line, if you trace, there were times when Middle Belt leaders were even Muslims. That is the chairman or president, as we call it now. Saraki, the late Saraki, father to the former Senate president, was a Middle Belt leader at one time. So we have had Middle Belt leaders who are Muslims, Middle Belt leaders who are Christians. I don't know whether some of the pioneers were animists, but people from the northeast, from the north central of today, from the northwest of today, because Zuru, Yauri, and all that were part of Niger province. It was the Irikife panel report that took them to the northwest. They had no business with them. They were not part of them. They are called the Dakar Kari, people who eat dogs. We are middle belters. We are not ashamed of our history, sir. And so that's what we are. Yes, if majority of us are Christians, we cannot deny the fact that we are Christians. I'm a Christian. I have brothers who are Muslims. I have relations who are Muslims. We help them to go to Hajj. We've not denied anybody. But what we will not do is a true middle belter will not carry arms as a jihadist against his brother.
Now, this is a very delicate situation we're discussing, and I want us to be very, honest with the people listening, because there are indigenous, I'm sure you agree with me, there are indigenous people from the Middle Belt who are Muslims. You said it yourself, some converted to Christianity, some converted to Islam. Now, if the Middle Belt as an organization now says we don't want Sharia, but the indigenous Muslims say they want Sharia, how do we deal with this?
Yeah, that's a very teaching question. Yes. Because Sharia allows cutting of somebody's hand if he steals. I'm just giving you an example. Beheading people who are not Muslims if they don't want to accept, and some other rules. Within the Middle Belt, that will not be accepted. I'm sorry to say that. You want to impose such rules on others who are not, but who don't believe in what you believe in modern world, it will not be accepted. The problem we are having here, where I come from, is predominantly Christian. Go to the villages, you hardly see a mosque. If you see any, to be a small room by side of the person who is professing to be a Muslim. Even you go back to the girls who were abducted, out of the 276 or thereabout, only 17 were Muslims. Majority of those ones were not even from Chibok local government, from the neighboring local government. And then you now say, because we are part of Borno, you have to impose Sharia on us, which Zulum is doing. I'm saying it to his hearing. Because in November, some people were drinking their local brew, Burkutu. The chairman went and packed them and locked them up at what they call Tandari Correctional Center in Maiduguri. Had to find a lawyer to go and bail them. Whether the chairman accepts or not, he was trying to appease the governor in the Sharia kind of thing. Because there is no law in our constitution that stops people from drinking their local brew. So if such communities exist, we'll tell them it wouldn't happen here. So this is the problem we have today. Whether we like it or not, the truth about the matter is our constitution has become a Sharia constitution, whether we like it or not. That's the truth. The 1999 constitution is a Sharia constitution. Because I mentioned in one interview, there are up to 73 mentions of Sharia in that constitution. About 28 mentions of Islam in that constitution. About 10 mentions of Muslim in that constitution. There is no mention of Christian or Christianity in that constitution. That means these Christians don't exist in this country. That is the truth. We cannot shy away from it. And the National Assembly members know this. But the problem with this country is that we have cowards in position of power who, even when they know the truth, are unable to speak out and say, gentlemen, this doesn't suit the so-called secularity of the Constitution. Our Constitution is not secular. Our Constitution is a Sharia Constitution. And that is where we have problems today, including the insurgency in the name of Sharia.
On this issue of the Constitution, in your words, saying it has become a Sharia constitution, is that not stretching it too far? Because, hold on, sir, because the Nigerian Constitution, in fact, our Constitution derives from the English common law system, which is basically, from the Judeo-Christian, canon laws. That's how English common law was formed. And then all the protectorates of the British Empire copied it more or less. So if they needed to, specifically mention aspects, for Sharia, for Islam, for whatever, just to, assuage the yearnings of majority, because whether we like it or not, Muslim and Christians are almost 50-50 population in Nigeria. So is it not stretching it too far to say the Nigerian?
Do you know the figure? You don't. Right from independence, yes. Let me put it to you.
Yes.
Who are the people who always opposed to having religion as a demographic index on in all the census we've had? It was Muslims. Christians always wanted it to be there, so that people will know who are Christians, who are Muslims, how many Christians exist, how many Muslims exist. So the issue of 50-50 or thereabout is in the head or brain, not on paper. It doesn't exist on paper anywhere. I said this in one interview I granted the Senate. In 2006, when Obasanjo conducted the last census, after that there has been none, Khan decided that, listen, this time around, we should have religion as an index on the population brochure, whatever it is. Who opposed it? Our Muslim brother. If they know they are majority, sir, or even they know that it is 50-50, they would have accepted. You will find the Muslim populations in around the roads, cities, etc. Go to the hinterland. You will find everybody all over the place, including even in the Muslim states like Kano and all that. So the problem here is the population of Christians and Muslims is unknown. We cannot just be saying 50-50. That's one. Two, that same year when it was rejected, said, why don't we use church demography to at least have an idea? How many Christians, at least in the north? Do you know what they got? 46.3 million. If in the north alone there are 46.3 million Christians, do you think Muslims are more than Christians in Nigeria? Just use your brain. So the issue is we are living in false demographics and with using false demographics to determine populations in Nigeria. And many of these populations which were conducted, that is in the censuses, a census officer will be given a target to write names, whether he likes it or not.
You have a proof for that.
So the issue, I participated in one, so don't worry. The issue is we don't know the ratio. The thing is, yes, when you are in the north, the people who call the shots are the Muslims. Christianity doesn't teach a Christian the way to overpower, to override, to dominate anybody. You are taught to be subservient to government in office. Islam is not like that. Islam provides for governance, provides for a judicial system, and here is where we are. So, sir, things have to be reflected the way they should be. Let's have electronic transmission of results. Truth will now stare people in the face. That's why many people don't want it to happen. Because you will see that in some states, here is Nasarawa, Muslims are not close to even, maybe if they are lucky, to be 45%, if they are lucky. Go to Kogi, it's the same thing. Go to even Gombe there, hardly will they be more than 50% if they are. So the issue is, in Adamawa there are even more Christians. Are you getting me? That is, we are talking of a religious demography. But that is not the issue. The issue is, let people be administered the way they want to, if we want to live together. But if people want to impose their will on others, as it is being done, because prior to 1999, all those Sharia in the Constitution was not there. It was Abdul Salam who brought it in. The IOC thing, it was Babangida who brought it in. When Gawon was there, did he try to do such a thing? No, the Penal Court agreed and accepted by the leaders in the north, the Sardauna.
Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe.